You are welcome. Yay!
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. J. How are you
I'm
doing
good. I'm
today?
okay. I'm okay. How are we doing today?
I'm fine. Fine. Rounding off the year.
Yes,
How has it been at your
it's
end?
been
I've
beautiful.
been seeing your post. The self-care.
Yeah, it has to be prioritized. It's important that we as educators take care of ourselves, even though our schedules kind of make it impossible. But it's possible. Very possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very, very important. Thank you for coming up here. Hello, everyone that's joining. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So, our guest is here with us today, and we are about to start. So, it's been a good year and a good season,
Mhm.
though there's been up and
Absolutely.
down,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
What other way to end this year than to have Miss OJ come and scatter table? Eh? Than to have Miss OJ come and respect us. So it was just a very, very good lineup to have Miss OJ end the year with us on the Millionaire Teacher Show. If you've not been following us, this is the Millionaire Teacher Show. And we are on the series My Journey, My Stories, where educators come to share their journey and their stories in the education system.
Absolutely.
So Ms. Oje is going to be sharing with us today, and I can't wait to hear all the juice that she's going to give. I hope you are with your notepads and you've invited a friend, right? So let's get right into it. I'll read up her bio and then we'll get her talking. All right, so Miss OJ Ojone Faith Aduku is a versatile professional with extensive experience in education, project management, and human resource. As the founder of I Create Education and an internationally certified educational consultant, she empowers educators and institutions to excel through personal development and innovative solutions. Ojene also shines as a dedicated identity coach, guiding individuals on a transformative journey of self-discovery and enhancing self-confidence. Her personalized coaching creates a supportive space for clients to explore their unique identities, set meaningful goals, and overcome challenges. With a track record of national recognitions, she is celebrated as the teacher's teacher, having mentored over 500 emerging professional teachers. Currently, Ojene serves as a consultant and talent manager with an EdTech platform in Abuja. She leads the Educational League of Professionals and is the head of programs and strategy with the Transformers League of Professionals and and the head of programs and strategy or head of operations with a growing NGO. She is the host of the Educators series, where she shares her vast knowledge and experience with a global audience. So let's give her a flowers as we welcome Miss OJ, as she's popularly called. So Miss OJ, tell us. You're ready to hear from me. How did this journey start for you?
Hmm. How does this journey start? My God. Thank you so much for shining the light on my bio. Um, um, you know, you just read it so beautifully. So thank you so much. And most importantly, thank you so much. I feel honored for inviting me to the show. And I also want to appreciate everybody that you've hosted. Though might not join live, but I always find a way to catch up with the section. So I appreciate everybody from the STEAM doctor to Grace Amoka and every other person that has been on the show. So this is me giving them all a shout out. So how did I start my story? How did I start my journey? My journey, into the educational sector is a very funny journey. Very, very funny. I stumbled, it all makes sense now. I stumbled on my diary when I was in 200 level, and I wrote down how to make my first 1 million naira. And at that time, I was studying to become I was in the medical field, so I was studying to become, to work in my line. But when I wrote down how to get my first 1 million, I wrote that at the age of 18. I put there teaching, I put there event planning, I put there lab technician, I put there having a salon, So I'm just trying to share this so that you know how far the entire teaching ministry has followed me. But I didn't know what I was writing. I was just, an 18-year-old girl writing how she's going to make her first million. I also remembered in university when people have issues with statistics, I'll gather them and be teaching them for free. Well, I never knew. In fact, it was not even in my plan to be a teacher at all. So here I was done with school, and I think I was waiting for NYSC, and then I was taking a walk one evening, and I saw a billboard. The name of the school, Shalom Foundation. I was just taking a walk in the evening, and then when I saw the billboard, I said, instead of sitting at home, let me call this number. And I took the number. I called the number. I said, good evening, sir. And he said, good evening. I said, I need a job. The man started laughing. You need which job? I don't have a job for you. I said, I just finished my university and I need somewhere to come and intern, so I need a job. He said, there's no vacancy, but meet my admin tomorrow morning, and when you meet her, just give her your CV. See what? I don't even know what was CV. I went immediately, I Googled up what is a CV. I tried to come up with one, and I showed up there the following day. When I got there, he told me again that he loved my confidence, but there was no vacancy. And I was about to step out. Then I saw how disorganized his office space was. And he had empty shelves, but his office space, the floor was filled up with books. And then I told him, sir, can I help you arrange your shelf? And he said, sure. And then I told him that, but you have to step out because there are some books under your table. He walked out, and then I did not only organize the shelf, I also did what we call file indexing. So I organized the shelf in a way that he could use a code to determine the book he wants to read. And then he looked at me and he said, come tomorrow. And then the following day he said, come tomorrow, come tomorrow, come tomorrow, come tomorrow. And that tomorrow became 1 month. I got my first salary at the end of that month. So I was like his A, and I was sitting in the admin office, working with the admin team, but to him personally. So he started telling me to do things, run errands for him, go and sign documents at the embassy, go and do this, go and do that. It was really interesting. A math teacher didn't show up, primary 4 teacher. And I was taking a tour, I was just walking around, and I saw the kids, they were not engaged. And I walked into the class, I said, what's going on? So immediately I tried to reach out to the teacher, he didn't pick the call. So I just, looked through the scheme of work, and I saw that this was week 6. They're supposed to be studying improper fraction or types of fraction, and the teacher had not even introduced fraction from week 2. So on the spot there, I started teaching them about fraction on the spot. I was able to walk them through the concept. I honestly, thinking about it today, I can't even remember where the stories were coming from. I was using stories, when I want to talk about improper fraction, I will lift up a child, and I'll tell the child, can you lift me up? So because you cannot lift me up, it's improper. So that's why you see, when a big number is, it was just flowing. And when I was done, I felt something I had never felt in my entire life. So I marched straight to my director's office and I told him, I don't want to be an admin officer again. I want to go to the classroom. And he was looking, what are you saying? And we kept on battling. He didn't want to let me go. I wanted to go. He didn't want to let me go, and I wanted to go. So I was able to, he found a way to, you know, like home economics, you know, other subjects that really didn't matter, so that I wouldn't resign. But finally, I just woke up one day. I said, you know what? I'm resigned. In fact, I didn't even interview. I told him I got an offer. He said, go for the interview. I went for the interview, came back, and I told him I was going to take the offer. So he told me, and he released me. So that was how I literally stumbled into education. So it took someone to be absent in school. So that was it for me. That was how I found myself here. And I have loved it. It's not been easy. I'll call it lemonade, you know, a lot of lemons, but it's been beautiful. I will not have it any other way. So that's the story of how I found myself here. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I finished my school, I got an offer in the hospital. I stayed there for like 2 weeks or so. I couldn't. I left. I got an offer with FCMB. 3 days there, I resigned and I came back to a classroom where I was being paid 15,000 naira at that time, leaving a job of 120,000 naira for a 15,000 naira salary. So that's to tell you how in love I am with education. Yeah, so that's the story.
What an interesting journey into the teaching. Like, you can imagine living a better pay, a better offer, or something that would have been in quote unquote more lucrative at the time for something that you didn't even know the future or where it was going to lead you.
Absolutely. In fact, I remember when the bank thingy happened. But my mom is sitting right beside me right now. I'm sure she has forgiven me. I remember when I told her that I was not going to go. She said, I'm her daughter. I'm supposed to have a very prestigious, just imagine her telling people, Mommy, can you remember that time? She was telling me, imagine her telling people that her daughter is a banker. I'll be wearing my suit with my shoes. When I didn't take the offer, if I start going around that my boss did something that it cannot be normal for me to, in fact, I also got a federal government job. I went there for 3 days and I came back. So it was as if it's not here. It's not here or here. That was it for me. So I turned down a job in the hospital. I turned down FCMB. I turned down a federal government job, and that was under Ministry of Health in Jos. I traveled. I cried. In fact, I went to God. I started crying. I said, God, I don't want to stay here. I want to come back to my job. And God just did it. The following day, the same people that have employed me, they just looked at my certificate. They said, no, they are looking for someone that studied then something related to the teeth, or someone that is a nurse, and that's how they told me that my appointment was cancelled. I said, Jehovah, this is the sign that I'm going to remain here. So yeah, that's how I found myself here.
Wow. So from your early days, can you describe your journey and your experiences from those early days to where you are now? How has it been? What hurdles have you had to?
Hurdles. My hurdle number one, I didn't study education. All I came into this sector with was pure passion. So all I had to my name was passion and a degree in science. That's all I had, right? So I didn't know, and all I could do were things that probably happened when I was in school, the way someone taught me well, or the way I wanted to be taught, and I did not experience that. So there was no trainings, no opportunity to read up, no materials to study. So my early days, it was such I'll call it a very lonely journey. And I was unfortunately the first the early schools I was working with, I didn't really have, the way we have now, where you have colleagues that are quick to want to help you. So I had a lot of colleagues that rather they wanted to show off, they wanted to be the best, so they were looking for every opportunity to override you. So I had very zero self-esteem. I wouldn't lie. In my first proper teaching job, all I was doing, I was just, I will observe what people were doing. The teachers at that time that they were recognized as the best, when I have a free period, I'll go and sit in their classrooms. I'll just be observing what they were doing. There was this lady that came in from town, where I was working was like a suburb. So she came in from town because she got married. So I had just attached myself to her, and I was just learning. Now, and that particular school, I think I stayed for like 3 years. So I remember that my teacher body was about to resign, and then I escorted him. I had my CV in the car, and he submitted in one school, and he told me, why don't you just submit in this school? And I submitted, and coincidentally, I got the job. He didn't get the job. So when I went to resign, that school now offered me like a 20% increase in salary. So that's when it occurred to me that I wasn't as bad. In fact, that's when one of the staff called me to the corner and told me that I merited half of the year. That they gave it was resigning. So that's when I realized that, oh my God, I was just judging myself with my eyes and with what I thought were my limitations. I didn't know I was doing. So I left that school and I went to another school that I was literally allowed to soar. I can't even talk about my story without appreciating that woman. I did a post on the bosses that I have experienced. She's the one I was referring to, Mrs. J.O. Amazing woman. So she allowed me to literally soar. And it wasn't really easy because I was tagged a lot of names. When you just have a very good work ethics, it becomes a problem. I don't procrastinate. I hate it because I like to suffer now and enjoy later. That's my pattern in life. So if it's lesson plan, lesson note, lesson anything, I will submit everything like a week or 2 weeks ahead. In fact, we can be in week 1. I have submitted week 12 lesson plan. So that kind of puts some pressure on my colleagues. So it wasn't really funny. So my journey wasn't really, but the sad thing about it was, despite the fact that in my own story, I was doing the best, I never came out to tell people that I was here, because I had a brand then as an event planner. That's my second skill. So everybody in the world knew me as an event planner. I had a social media, I had Instagram, Facebook, in fact, but I never stepped out, and I never told anybody that I was a teacher. When I walk into any room, I'll introduce myself as a project manager, as an event planner. I never, and to be honest, not because I was shy, but because I felt like the teaching was a part-time. This is after 8 years. I felt like teaching was still a part-time hustle. My main hustle was going to be event planning. And when I blow with event planning, I'll just start my own school and move on with my life. And then I think it was in my place of reflection. I think before the lockdown or after the lockdown, I can't really remember. Then I now told myself, what's going on? What will I rather spend the rest of my life doing? And my answer was teaching. So why is it that people are not identifying me with what I do? It was really sad, And I had a mentor then that told me that, are you not tired of posting fine pictures? What are you doing with your online page? Why are you not, why are you not telling people what you do? And that was it. I think I came online that day and I posted one picture and I said, if your child is struggling with learning, I am the expert. reach out to me. That's how this whole Miss ODA, the Rich Teachers brand started. Like joke. I said, if your child is struggling with reading, send me a text message. I can help. And that's it. One person reached out, another person, the third person, the fourth person, and that was how the journey literally started. And then I realized that people were accepting me more as an educator than the event plan. It was more, you see, what I was struggling with as an event planner, I didn't struggle with it as an educator. Talking about visibility, convincing a client that will not want to pay, because I was planning event for people in my social circle, in my network, you know. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, madam. So sorry, I'm at home, so it's a bit noisy. So, so it was just me coming to finally accept my journey, to accept my story. A lot of things, I can't even mention all of them. The things that I struggled with as an event planner, I did not need to struggle with it as an educator. And the beautiful thing is, whenever I show up as an educator and you're speaking with me, I'm responding to you from the depth of my experience. So as of when I started my brand as an educator, I had already spent over 10 years in the sector, right? So, and I started event planning, you know, like 3-4 years down the line. So I don't realize, like, I knew so much about this, but I had not articulated what it was or what it is that I wanted to associate myself with as an educator, you know. So it just kept on going with me. Just all I was pushing then was helping children, tutoring. At the end of that year, something just told me that it's time for you to go bigger and it's time for you to go better. So you can reach, how many kids can you reach in a month? How many kids can you reach in a year? But if you reach the teachers will reach the children. So if I reach 10 teachers and these 10 teachers, they have contact with 10 kids individually. So this means that I can reach out to 10 people on the spot and reach out to 100 children, you know, in less than a minute or in less than a second. So it just made sense to me. So I now, you know, moved my brand, the target of my brand, from targeting the children directly to targeting the teachers. So when I did that, it was time for me to grow. It was time for me to learn. It was time for me to position myself as someone that the teachers will look up to. So what happened? I had to start grooming myself. So it was just me going back again to groom myself, to expand my capacity, you know, because if I'm talking to an educator now, I don't know their experience, I don't know their background, but I can tell you what an average 7-year-old child should have experienced, you know, their level. But I couldn't do that for educators. So it was just start doing the work, the intensive work in the educational sector, you know. And I tell people that I'm a very shy person, but they don't believe. But I need you to believe me when I say I'm shy. I'm indeed a very shy person. So I said networking, which if you leave me, I wouldn't network. But I can tell you that things that I did not, I don't have a degree in education till, okay, I have one now. I had to get one. And I got that because of the certificate, right? Not necessarily that it taught me, but what networking has taught me has just been mind-blowing, right? And I'm not going to talk about my story without mentioning a very important part of my story. And this is something that I want educators to take on. Number one, don't be afraid of the level you are at. Don't be afraid of the level you are at right now, number one. Number two, because you have a picture of a future, that does not mean you let go of the people you are on the same level with. If you go under my comments today, I am I'm leading several organizations as mentioned in my my bio. I'm heading a school. I am leading other schools as a consultant, and there are teachers that if you go under my comments, they call me sis, I call them sis. They are my sisters. I don't know if you get my point. They are my sisters. That does not mean I don't have friends or I don't have a circle that is above me. I have a circle beneath me. I have a circle, just a little, if I just, drop down a bit now, I get to them. I have teachers in my circle. I have educators in my circle. I have school leaders in my circle. I have circles for every level. You know what this means? If tomorrow, if I wake up one morning and things are not going up, God forbid, but this is life, things are not going well above me, or I'm not being accepted in the picture of my future, I have a place to drop to and I'll be fine, right? If I don't even get to mention to people that I am a school leader, what is it? If I don't get to mention to people that I'm a school leader, they won't even know. They won't even know, right? So as educators that are trying to build brands, please do not look down on the people that are that are below where you currently are. Don't look down on if you are a school leader already, don't look down on teachers. If you are a teacher, don't look down on assistant teachers. If you're an assistant teacher, don't look down on the cleaners. Don't look down on anybody. And this is why. Number one, when I was leaving the second place I was working, they needed a replacement. And they told me to join the panel to interview a suitable replacement. Then I saw a CV, and that CV was carrying the head of school from the school I left to come to that school. And she was applying as a teacher. So on the CV, I just minuted, this is the best person to replace me. So imagine she wasn't fantastic, or she wasn't even kind to me, or she was making me feel bad at the level I was operating. On the spot, she wouldn't get that job. She wouldn't get that job at all. And secondly, if you're going to be reaching out to teachers, you need teachers to accept you. And then you want to behave above these teachers. How is that going to work? The last conference I did last year, more than 80% of the participants from that conference came from my mentee. She had a program, she invited me for the program, and I went for the program. And during the program, I was not a speaker. She was just talking about me, and then she said, and she's here, Ma, can you say a word for us? And then I took the microphone, spent a few seconds just talking with them. And then when I had that conference, I think I posted it on my status, and then she reposted. More than 80% of the participants came from that particular meeting, and those were people in her circle. So imagine I feel, no, she has a brand, no, I'm not going to go there. My darling, you will crash. So lesson number one, don't look below, don't treat anybody as if they are below you. That's one lesson. Another thing that I will not leave here without saying is, when it comes to branding yourself as an educator, the only limitation you have is yourself. You may want to ask, when I start taking my brand very serious, I have a show called The Educator Series. This is how it started. So I woke up in 2021 and I told myself, I have so much to say, but there's no platform. What's going on? Is it that people are not seeing me? Now, this is me that we wake up in the morning, go to school, leave school, go home, sleep, wake up the following day, go back to school. Do I know anybody? No. Do I network? No. Do I talk to anybody? No. I'll just come online and be posting and be minding my business. In fact, sometimes I'll post, I will not put caption. So there was nothing to even make people want to interact with my post. Then, and I told myself that, okay, so since there is no platform for me to speak, I'm going to create one for myself. And that was it. So I identified one woman. I said, okay, 2022, in the month of February, I'm going to interview her. Then I woke up in January and I asked myself, okay, I want to interview this woman in February, and I don't have any followers. If I go live now, who is going to come live with me? And I said, okay. I went to my family group chat and I did a flyer. I posted on the group chat and I said, hello guys, I just want to let you guys know that I'll be going live on Saturday by 8 p.m. If you don't show up, don't ever ask me for money again. And I sent the same message to all my friends. I said, if you don't show up, block my line. I don't want to ever see you again. And then I went live for the first time that Saturday. When I went live, I asked myself, what do I want to say? What is my subject of expertise at that time? And I used to brag. I like to brag. I tell people that no matter how bad a child is, if you bring the child for me, I must find a way to teach that child. So I call myself anything that I call myself pedagogy expert. So I went live and I said, how children learn. Only me and my family members that were none of them, no educator. Everybody was just friends and family. I think they were about 30 something or 20 something. They came live with me and I spoke. I finished. The next week Saturday, I went live again. Of course, they dropped because I didn't threaten them. The next week Saturday, I went live. The fourth Saturday, I interviewed that woman. And then when I interviewed her, an idea dropped to interview another person, And that's how it started. It now became a weekly thingy, right? And from that platform, the visibility that I was looking for, I started having it. In fact, I think my dad was teasing me. He said, since I came home, all I've been doing, I've just been talking with my phone. I've just been talking with my phone. It has been from one training to another, from one section to another. It has just been really crazy, right? But would that happen if I did not put myself out? It wouldn't have happened. In fact, the first day I saw this your millionaire show, teacher show, I said, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. Only me in my room, I was like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. The last training I had with educators, I told them, I said, even if you want to bear the name rich teacher, come outside, bear it. Let all of us be doing it. Let's just be good. Just no matter what it takes, put yourself out there. So the only thing that is limiting you, right? Some people would think that it's not possible for you to be in the world and for you to be in the classroom or for you to be in the school at the same time. That's a lie. It's a big, big lie. I was actively in the school when I started building a brand as Miss OJ, as the rich teacher, or as whoever you think I am, or what you know me as. So own your story. This story, your own story, you own it so passionately and humbly. Own your story. And I tell people that, see, the world already sees educators in a particular light, and you can't do us that injustice. Hone your skill to the point that if you open your mouth, you are commanding people to keep quiet because of the content that you are sharing. I was in a room the other day and they were asking, I was with some medical doctors and we're having a conversation, and I'm a very curious person. When I see a doctor, if you're a medical doctor, don't allow me see you. You will sit down and answer a lot of questions, And we're talking about special needs. And in the process of talking about it, I was asking questions and I was asking the doctor, so do you think nutrition plays a role in, the uproar that we are experiencing now, that in almost every 10 family, there is a special need child? And the doctor was like, no, it's not. In my mind, I said, it is not possible. But I did not argue because he's the expert. I did some research, I reached out to some special needs experts. The next time I was having that conversation, if you have heard me, you think I was a special needs expert. So any direction that the world is tilting to as an educator, you must be an expert in several things and have knowledge about almost everything. From music to football to everything, so that when you go into any room, you fit in. People will not say, I know this one, not just teacher now. No, you're not just a teacher. You are not just a teacher. Someone reached out to me the other day and she said, Ms. Oje, you wear a lot of caps. What do you think? What do you want me to address you as now? I said, thank you for telling me that. Yes. I said, well, and I asked her, just so that my identity will not be confused. what do you think my core is? She said education. I said, hey, we've settled that one. So what do you need to do for you? From what you want me to do for you, that is how I'm going to model my bio to send to you. So educators, the truth is, we all have very unique stories. And everybody's motivating. It depends on how you tell the story. If I came here today and I just told you, I would have even said the story, but from, I would have said the story from when I started teaching the math, without telling you how I stumbled, without telling you how I rejected a bank job, without telling you how I rejected a federal government job, how I left the hospital, working in the hospital, how I left the hospital just because I wanted to remain in this line. So you want me to remain in this line and not be in this line and not have money? In 2022, when I told myself that, 2020, to be an educator, you are going to be in this field and you are going to be rich. That's when I came online and I changed my name to The Rich Teacher. I'm not sure I had up to 2K in my account when I called myself The Rich Teacher. And when I started the brand The Rich Teacher, it was 100% about the title, money. Yes, Rich Teacher. 100 myself that I will not sit down in one village and my children and my students will come and be giving me 10,000 naira, 5,000. No, that's not me. I will be that teacher that when one of my students want to become the press relevant, that they will call me to say, oh, Miss OJ, I know you know people. Please help me. That's the kind of educator I want to be. That's how I want to evolve. That's how I want to remain relevant. So I asked myself, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I did not have up to 2K when I started The Rich Teacher as a brand. But my sister Grace Amoka will say something. You are who you say you are. So her brand name was The Master Teacher. So when I adopted The Rich Teacher, now how do I now become rich? And then my boss told me that if at the end of this year, my brand, The Rich Teacher, doesn't buy me a car, she'll come online and tell people that I'm a fraud. So I was on double pressure. She said, Miss OJ, you started a brand as The Rich Teacher. This brand, she said, it's not my money. The salary I'm paying you will not buy you a car. But your brand, The Rich Teacher, must buy you a car before the end of this year. If not me, when you go live, I will come and tell them that you are a fraud. So I had to sit down with myself. So how do I become rich outside my salary? That was it. How do I become rich outside my salary? Then I looked at myself. This rich that I say I am, what are the qualities that I have that can generate wealth for me? Number one, resourcefulness. So that's how rich became an acronym. Resourcefulness, R. Before now, if you send me a message, Miss OJ, do you know where I can get yada, yada, yada? I will say no. But now, my darling, if you call me now and ask me, do I know where you can recycle used tissue? I'll just tell you, give me a minute. If you tell me, do you know where I can get someone that can supply shovel? Yes, I know. There is nothing you bring to my doorstep that I don't know. Recently, I went on a retreat, and then I posted the videos, and then people started reaching out to me. Oh, Miss OJ, I also want to go on a retreat. Oh, I want to have fun. I need an apartment. Now, the place I spent the 3 days retreat was on the high side. So when they told me their own budget, I did not shout, no, you cannot afford it. I said, I know a place you can get cheaper. Hey, God. I said, I know a place you can get cheaper. Then I came online. I stayed on Instagram. Once you search one on Instagram, it now gives you suggestions. I started following all the suggestions. I started seeing apartment. Where we stayed was, I think, 125. I started seeing options of 70. I told myself that if there's 70, there is 60. I saw 60. I said, if there's 60, there is 40. That was how I followed until I found places for 40, 45,000 naira. Most of the educators that came to Abuja this Christmas to stay in apartment, it was me that connected them. Did I gain 1 naira from there? No, but I bear the name resourceful. I'm just telling you to the last. Someone reached out to me and said they wanted me to integrate a particular curriculum that I was not familiar with. I'm more familiar with the national, the international curriculum, the ICP curriculum. This one was brand new, never heard the name before. And I said, when do you need it? My audacity. They said, first week of January. Guess what? As I'm talking to you now, it is done and ready. But I don't want to do, let it look as if you gave me a time frame. The next time you will not make it shorter. I'm just waiting. Hope the person is not here. Let me check first and be sure, so that I don't shoot myself. Okay, the person is not here. 1st of January or 2nd of January, I will send it to them. I have to. So, educators, write it down in the chat section. I want to say, what name have you called yourself? So resourceful. You ask me for anything, I will look for someone that does it and get me. She wants to write TRCN examination and she doesn't know how to go about it. Ha ha ha. Me, when it was time for me, I just walked into the place. I got the form. I got everything. The easiest thing for me to tell her is to send the address of the place to her. But I didn't. I Googled them, got a number, called the number, asked the person all the details. I wrote it down and I sent it to her. She now sent me another message that she wants past questions. I said, which kind of wahala be this one? Past questions from where? I said, okay. I went, I researched, I went to all the education platforms that I belong to. I was posting, who has passed? I finally found, I sent to her. Shortly after then, I think at the end of last month, November, she sent me a message that she just wants to thank me so much. She has written the exams, she has passed, she wants to know what next. I said, hey, this lady is disturbing you. But I started the journey. I told her, I said, okay, what next is for you to wait for this period of time. Then you can go with 9,000 naira, collect your license. You remember to renew it after every hours. Did I know these things before? No. Next is innovation. If you know me, you know that I'm one person that think on the spot. Innovation, how to convert old ideas into new ideas, how to think on the spot and provide solutions on the spot. And like I said, you call yourself what you want the world to identify you as. That's how you address yourself. The moment I told myself that I was innovative, my inspiration changed my inspiration changed. I started getting innovative inspiration because that's what I have put in my consciousness, my subconsciousness. I started thinking as an innovative person because that's what I called myself. Next, charismatic. Now, I didn't need to do too much because I think if you follow come, charisma, you follow come. Now, this does not mean I have not suffered with low self-esteem. In fact, the Miss OJ you see today is, I think, I'll call her a healed version of who I was. If you're in Nigeria and you are on the big side, you already know what I'm talking about. But the place I am now with myself, my darling, I feel like I have the confidence of 10, 20 people put together. And it was not overnight. It was intentional work. I know a lady, I don't know if you know her, Universal Sound Academy. If you don't know her, please go and follow her after this. I interviewed her this year and I asked her a question, why elocution? And she told me that people say dressing catches attention, but she told herself that when she enters a room and she opens her mouth, she wants the whole room to be on standstill. Go and hear her speak. My God. I said, did you? She said she had to learn everything by herself. She learned everything by herself, for herself, and for the kind of attention she wanted to command. So confidence is intentional work. Absolutely. It's not overnight. Nobody, some people were born with silver spoon. Well, I will leave all of you in this house. Sorry, my darlings. So, for example, you have some challenges that you know you have, and you don't want everybody to know that you have that challenge. Go into your private room and fix it so that when you come out, and I tell people that when it comes to confidence, when it comes to charisma, right? I'm not saying that you should, sorry, 1 minute. I tell my family that they don't have digital etiquette at all. So go to your private room on that weakness. But when you see the light, it is only you and God that should know about your weakness, or a mentor that is helping you work on it. But when you come out as a lion. There's nothing wrong with telling people that, oh my God, I will get back to you. And you will say it with confidence. You don't know it. You don't say, oh my God, I don't know. You don't know. How can you say you don't know it? You know it. You're an educator. Just say, I should get back to you on that. So in your secret place, let your self-esteem, your low self-esteem end in your secret place. When you come out with the audacity of a lion. And I tell people to accept themselves at the level they are. Because when you are transitioning to your future self, you are going to still exist in, as an example, I'm on the big side. So imagine I feel I'm not confident enough with my size and I want to lose weight the natural way. It's going to take me 6 to 12 months to get that. So in that 6 to 12 months, what am I going to be doing with myself? Am I going to be coming out with low self-esteem? No. So you have to accept and love yourself for who you are right now on your way to who you want to become. Educators, when you are coming out, come out well. My mom told me not to fix my nails, but I told her that I'm going to fix it. You know why? I say fixing nails gives me an exaggerated self-confidence. If I fix my nails and I'm doing like this today, you will not even understand. It just adds to my self-confidence. So anything that will make you come out as a lion, get it done. There's a time in my life I had just one shoe. This time is not 7 years ago. It's not far from yesterday. But if I clean it and I put my red lipstick, my God, the outside of the shoe was still shining, but the inside, it has met the ancestors. So when I walk into a place, I immediately go and look for a couch and I'll hide it there. Let it not be that it's the teacher that wore this. All right, that's for charisma. Finally, highly productive. See, this one that I call highly productive is the one that is putting me in trouble. So I don't sleep until a task is done. Because I call myself highly productive. So as I am working, I am producing results. As I am sleeping, I should be producing results. Anything that I am doing must produce results. And the truth is that nobody pays you for what you know. People pay you for the results that you can produce. Nobody pays you for what you know. It's in your brain. And I tell my children this in the classroom. Now, you are a very intelligent boy, but you're not passing the exam. How will I know that you are intelligent? The same way, you know something, but that thing cannot produce results. How will I know that you know something? So I now ask myself, if I am resourceful, innovative, charismatic, highly productive, what will make me poor? So I'm asking you guys now, how are you now going to be poor? It's impossible. So whether rich means finance or is the acronym, the result is that I have told myself that I cannot be poor. So I'm challenging you right now as educators to start from somewhere. But you have to make up your mind to be a resource hub. Make up your mind to be a resource hub. There was one urgent 100K that I got the other day. Very urgent. I was just lying down on my bed and someone sent me a message that he needs financial projection for real estate. Actually, he reached out to me. He wanted to start a school, and he told me that I should draw a proposal for him. And in less than 15, 16 minutes, I drew up something. And when I'm sending it, I will not send it as document. I will go on an app, do a very colorful, everything that I am saying, I'll bring it to life with an image. That's how I also plan events. I learned that from event management. I brought it in. So I'll put pictures, I'll put videos, anything that will bring that idea to life. So I sent it to him and he loved it. And now, if someone wants a school, why will I do a financial projection? But I wanted to do it because I wanted him to see that if he starts a school in the next 3 years, if he can hit this number of students, he'll be able to make 60 million naira. And his investment is going to be 30. So he's going to start with 30 million. And in 2 years, he can hit double of that money if he gets this amount of students. So he called me on phone and he asked me to explain. And I told him, I said, if you can hold on to this student consistently with this school fees, by the time you multiply, in 1 year, you're going to get 40 million naira. The second year, you're going to get another 40 million naira, which is 60 million. But you're going to use 10 million to run the first year, 10 million for the second year. So your profit is going to be 60 million. And the next message I got from him was, he wants to do the same for his real estate. Can I do a financial projection for him? I said, me say no. I said, yes. He said, how much will it cost? And I said, 120,000 naira. And he said, I'll give you 100,000. In less than 2 minutes, I was done. I sent it to him. And the money entered my account. I said, wow, I like this. Did that money come from education? Did it come from my salary? Did it come from selling, curriculum? No, it didn't come from all of this. And I don't want to tell people more because we're in the era of kidnapping now. So I'm trying to stay very, very humble. But my point is, I'm sure you get my point. My point is, you cannot be a resource hub and be poor. So in case you have ever stumbled on my page and you have ever wondered, who is she self? Why is she calling herself rich teacher? I am calling myself what I want to see. And my friend is here. I press leadership. I was with her before the holidays. And we just sat down to plan money. And I told her, I said, every month, I want consistent to be entering my account every month. And she asked me, how am I going to do it? She was trying to do something. By the time she turned, I had done my own analysis of how I'm going to be achieving that financial target. And then she was not asking me that, how is she going to achieve it? She doesn't know how to. I don't told her, I said, go and sit down. There is no way you can tell me that with what God has deposited in you, you cannot hit this thing monthly. And before we left there that day, I'm sure we in fact, we did analysis that we overshot the target financially. So in my journey, I have realized that if you are going to wait for the school system, the educational sector to make you a millionaire, it ain't gonna work. And that's not because you are a teacher. In fact, there is no sector that can make you rich and financially free. I have worked in the tech sector before. I spent a good number of years in the tech sector. Is the money good, but did it make me rich? That's the question. Or rather, let me change it. Did it make you wealthy? So you now, as a multi-talented educator, it's time for you to go home. Sorry, I'm supposed to just share a story, but I cannot help it because you all came for the millionaire show. You want to take something away from here. And what I want you all to take away from here is for you to know that the sector is not going to give you wealth. The sector, or rather, let me rephrase that. Your salary will not make you rich, but education is a well of, in fact, raw crude oil. The day I stood up and I said, going forward, I want to be helping schools build systems and put structures. But I asked myself that, the way Abuja is, it looks like every school is good. They are well structured. Then I started encountering schools. See, it's just like you stepping out of your house and you say you want to buy a green wrapper. Then someone tells you, have you ever seen green wrapper before? What's going to happen? You will start seeing green wrapper everywhere. So the day you wake up and you say, this is the solution I want to start providing, the problems will naturally find its way to you. Naturally find its way to you. And the level we are, especially for those that have spent 5, 10, 15 years, our time, we're almost rounding up. Our time is only, because this next generation of people, before I got home, I think I interviewed close to 50 or 70 people for a position. The children that are behind us, they are hot pepper. My God. Raw fire. And this time around, they are coming with technology, something that we had to learn on the job. So have you started planning your retirement? Do you want to be that educator that when you go somewhere, you want to be hiding your shoe, like as I was in the past? Do you want to be that educator that will be somewhere in the village and your children will not gather and buy you a phone that has internet, that there's no light for you to? Because you have to choose and determine you have to choose what role you want to play in the next generation. And this is why I said, if you were with me at the beginning, this is why I said when I started that you cannot look down on the people that are lower than you. To end my story, there was a time, most people in this generation, if I say Panapasi Paul, that's his name, right? If I call his name in this generation, how many people will know him? Now, but when I was younger, he was, my God, he was the father figure, like he was the musician then. So he came to my church for visitation. And when he came to visit, he was greatly honored in my church. And then my pastor was now sharing the story of when he started a ministry in the hotel that Pastor Paul came to lodge in that hotel, and he heard that he was lodged there. So he immediately left his pulpit and ran to the lobby when Pastor Paul was leaving, and he told him, he said, "Sir, please, I'm a huge follower, a huge fan. It will richly bless us if you just pass by in my church today to just sing one song, like if you can just pass by." And he obliged, and he came there, and he sang, and he blessed everybody. And I think I heard that he also donated, I think, to buy an instrument or something. Today, for people in fact, more than 30 or 50% of people in that church that did not know him, they got to know him because he's now leveraging on my own pastor's platform at that time, in that time. That same man has more than 300 and something children that he's mentoring, he's grooming, he's mentoring and grooming them to become the next generation of musicians. What am I trying to say? For you to maintain relevance, it is not you trying to catch up with the people in front of you. It's you trying to help the people behind you to come up. Because when your time fades, because your time will fade. When your time fades, when you are too old to come into the classroom, that now you want, what you want to do now is either to own a school or be a consultant or be a trainer. It is those people that you helped and positioned that will help you. There's a school I went to do training. When I finished the training, one of the ladies there resigned. When she resigned, she sent me a message and told me that the school she's working right now, she's trying to get them to sign me up to come for the training. So imagine when I came for the training, I was training them as if they were beneath me. But I was training them as if they are members of my family, telling them things that will not just change their career, but something that will first of all change them as a person before their career. So, yeah, that's my story. So help the people behind. Absolutely, help people behind you to come to the light, because when you are approaching your dark stage, they will be the ones to shine their lights on you. They will be the ones to shine their light on you. There is one of our mentors now that is running a program. I carry that program on my head. She's my mentor. She's up there. I carry the program on my head. I carry the program as if someone wants to pay me for that program. But I know what I am doing. I'm investing in her, someone else is going to carry my own program like that on her own head. So I have turned it to preaching. I'm so sorry, but I'm such a lover of God. I'm such a lover of God. I'm such a lover of quality life. And I know that the sector we are right now might not offer us that life, but you can get this life in the sector. Nobody is going to offer it to you. You have to look deep, carve a niche for yourself. You as a person, what solution do you want to provide? What do you want to do in the sector? What do you want? The people that are doing edtech now, let me come closer. Come closer. Let me tell you this one. The people that are doing edtech, those people, they don't have the E in the edtech. What they have is the tech. The E, which is education, is missing. And you are there. You want to bury yourself in the classroom. Continue. What did I say? Is that your job? You've carried it on your head. One day you wake up, they can fire you, they can sack you. What will you fall back on? When I was going to resign from my job, someone looked at me and said, you don't have a problem now. You're already building something. You built something that you can fall back on if the going gets tough. So the EdTech platform, a lot of educators need to rise up and go and dominate that space. Seller has released their list of 100 educators in Nigeria, in Africa. How many did you even see any educator there? I'm still looking. I've not found one. Creators, how can they say creators? There is no teacher. Every day we are creating lesson plan, we are creating videos, we are creating lessons, we are creating lives. We are sparking purpose in people, but we are not on that list. We are not on that list. So there's a lot. See, there's a lot. There's a whole lot. I'm not saying don't go and copy another person, because there's a whole lot of problems that need solution in our sector. So go and pick one. Someone reached out to me and said she wants to start creating content for tax. Most of the educators we have in our sector now, they are not creative because they are not called. They just finished NYSC and there's nothing to do. Some of them, they now want to stay, but they don't know how to be creative in their classroom, how to give tasks that children will do and embed the 21st century skills, which is collaboration, creativity, innovation, communication, and all of that. That's the niche she wants. Who can parent a child more than a teacher? But let's look at the field of the parenting coach we have now. Who is anyone? Do you know a known teacher that is there? Thank God for Madam Ronke Posh, that she's trying to dominate that sector right now. But every day you come to school, you are teaching a child, you are parenting a child, but no, you want to be marking lessons. No problem. Continue. I've said my own. No, may the Lord help all of us.
Hey. Mr. Joe, God Almighty, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Like you've said a lot. You've said a whole lot. And in all of this, I'm so glad that people are taking out the lessons and typing them there and all that. You've really touched a lot of things. You see this aspect. You mentioned something about being an expert in something, but having knowledge in everything. It's very, very important. I can remember when I was growing up, I didn't even know that I'll be in education or teaching. That was just kind of my own view personally. That was my personality. I love to want to know about everything. I used to read a lot. To the point that I wanted to read about magic. Why do they do magic? How do you understand? Like, just having knowledge in everything was very, very important, and that used to get me into trouble. Because people like, I too know, yes. Like, you just okay. So at that point, I felt the problem I had there was I want to like show you that I know about this thing. I know about this thing. It's not so much about showing or wanting to prove that you know it. But it's important that when discussions are being held, like you should be able to contribute.
Absolutely.
You should be able to contribute to whatever discussion, be it sport, music or anything. Don't just say, ah, that's not my field, and your knowledge is just limited to your field. No, no, that it's very, very important that you know you have knowledge in a lot of things. Thank you very much,
Thank
Miss
you.
Oje. I wouldn't like to keep you any longer. Like your stories and your journey, we just want to keep hearing. The essence of this, like if someone would ask me, why my story, my journey? So just imagine hearing from you. We've learned about how you started, how you are on the journey, and you've even given some advices on what people should do. So just imagine everybody coming here and learning from this. It will help the person run the race better.
Absolutely.
When you hear people talk about the things that the challenges they've had, it would help you not to make the same error on your by yourself, and it will also help you to even do better in your own in your own space and all that. It's very, very important. As little or as trivial as this might have sounded at the beginning, I'm seeing the impact it is making. And I'm just so grateful that when I call on educators, they're just delighted to answer me. I didn't know that it would be this easy to just talk to somebody without having to pay. That please, can you come on the show? And person just jump at it. Like you are just like willing to share,
Absolutely.
not holding back your story,
I like what you
not
said.
holding back.
You never knew that it was this easy. I'm telling you, it is very, 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 very easy. And I'm just going to say this. Nobody is going to hand over anything to you. You have to go for it. It's easy. Go for it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Oje. We really, 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 really appreciate you.
Thank you.
So can you just give us like final words for today so that we'll let you go?
All right, guys.
I know you've
It's a
said
pleasure to be here today. In fact, I told myself that I'm not going to exceed 25 minutes, but I can see that this is past 1 hour. But you know, the most important thing is I just want to let you feel my heart when I see educators struggling. You don't deserve to struggle. We have sat around the corner for too long thinking that someone is going to wake up and start paying us what we deserve. I found my father's pay slip from when I was born. He was receiving 89,000 naira. And when I was born, and that's someone's current salary as a teacher in the same country where dollar was how much then and dollar is how much now. Not just an educator, in every sector. So that's the reality of life. So guys, I need you. The only thing I'm going to leave you with today is from now, start planning your retirement. What is that thing that if you wake up today and you tell yourself, I am tired of 7 to, our own is 7 to 7. I am tired of 7 to 7. What is that thing you can fall off? Fall on? What is that thing that can sustain you? What is that thing that can give you lifestyle? Educators, we don't like lifestyle. You don't want to go to Bora Bora. You don't like Dubai. You don't want to go to Paris. You don't want to have a private jet. These things they are not things that we should not want. They are things that I want us to desire. So what are those things? You can sit in your class as a teacher and design curriculum that someone will pay you 1 million naira for. You can sit in your classroom and write a textbook that will go around the world. So look for your niche. Look for your niche, not tomorrow. Look for your niche today and explore it. So that's my final word.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Oje. We really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate your stories and your journey. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Your reward is not in heaven, no. Your reward is here on earth.
It's all down here.
That's here on earth. It starts here. Even Jesus told the disciples that their reward starts here on earth. So it's not just in heaven, it starts here on earth. So really appreciate you, Miss Oje. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone who has joined. Thank you everyone who has joined. This is the Millionaire Teacher Show, the My Journey, My Story series, where educators come to share their journey and their stories in the education sector. And this live broadcast will be sorry, it will be shared on our YouTube channel, Mary the Millionaire Teacher on YouTube, so that you can have go there to rewatch any part of it that you've missed and all that. And also, this is the last Instagram live that we are having for the year. By next year, we continue, but we'll be on YouTube. We are stepping up the game. So we are no longer taking from Instagram to post on YouTube. We are now going to be on YouTube live from next year. So watch out for that. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Miss Oje. Do have a very, very happy new year. It's a new year. It's a new season. It's a brand new you. You may still be the same color, same skin color, same eye color and all that. But there's something new in you that has been ignited from today's program. There's something new in you that has been ignited from everything that you've been hearing so far in this year, from everything that has happened to you this year. Something new in you has been ignited that 2024 is waiting for you to set up that fire. So see you in 2024 on the top. Thank you very much. Bye. Take care.